Good afternoon. I'm Jamie Medina with ReadyFront Community Action Group. Today I'll be talking to you about our current project that we're working on in Tracy, California, known as the Jackson Alley Pilot Project. So Jackson Alley Project is looking at activating our alley in downtown Tracy. So this is a limited amount of space in most downtowns, just like Tracy. Tracy's no different than any other town or city. So to activate alleys, we're looking for places with green infrastructure. Alleyways are intimate city spaces, places for children and elderly to take a load off, to relax, to also a place for after school activities. Possible office parties, art festivals, art contests, bachelorette parties even. We're looking to explore the space within our city, activate it, and increase the foot traffic around our downtown. So what are we looking at? This is an aerial view of downtown City Tracy, California. We're looking at Jackson Alley, a subsection between North Central Avenue and D Street. Jackson Alley is oriented east to west. So this is part of a bigger project, actually. There's a three-phase project that ReadyFront's working on. First with the Jackson Alley near the Grand Theater, which we're looking at having a theater type theme, an older, circa 1920s, roaring 20s theater theme as we move into the different phases with the murals and everything. On your left-hand side is the current Jackson Alley. And the right-hand side is an alley in Sacramento that they activated. They made it Graffiti Alley, which is just an example of what you're able to do, when a community comes together and pushes through these projects. It's all about experience. So right here is another side of Jackson Alley on your right hand. On your left-hand side, it's what it could be. Again, alleys, they offer a unique sense of community pride. Traditionally they're used for delivery truck drivers or thoroughfares, people walking through. When you think of alley, you think of a more, a dark side of a city or the seedier parts. We want to take advantage of that and exploit that. And really build upon building our community better. We want them to be safe hangouts for kids and for seniors to to cruise through. So there's three main elements to activate an alley for success of your alley. These key elements are lighting and open facades. Most alleys are darker. You want to kind of keep in line with that traditional dark look, like red lights, yellow lights, more of like a industrial feel. You want to get a feel for what your alley already is and just exploit that and amplify it. And of course, the canopy. There's a really famous alleyway in Portugal. It's covered in umbrellas. So the whole canopy is covered in umbrellas. We were thinking chain link fences, chain link fence canopy to hang lamps and things from, and of course plants. Who doesn't want a greener workspace or a greener community with robust plants in the area? So we anticipate phase one to look like this. Here's Jackson Alley on your right-hand side. That picture, thanks to David Garcia Designs. He's working with ReadyFront as well. He's a partner of ours. But yeah, this is what we envision. We envision, the big steel, stainless steel, and painted, fabricated archway Jackson Alley, and on both the west and the eastern sides of the alley, along with your murals, your 1920s, your theater type murals. We're thinking of like the Grand Theater spilling out into the alley, like a big play or a concert or something spilling out into the alley, and continue the party, continue the caveat to the good time that you're having at the Grand. With little cafes, perhaps little pilot cafes. We're anticipating getting in contact and partnering up with local breweries and wineries where they can have like a little pilot bar, a little pilot hub down there, as well as other vendors and food vendors as well. So phase two and phase three, we're looking at Granair Alley between Central and A Street, and Gillett Alley between Central and A Street. These open spaces, we're really looking to increase the foot traffic, and the overall theme of this to increase the foot traffic, bring tourism to downtown Tracy. It'll be known as the alleys. Now Tracy has a staple, the alleys. Currently, this is what our alleyways look like today. And this is what we want it to look like for tomorrow. These two examples, Austin, Texas, really invented the playbook as far as activating alleys. They have 37 activated alleyways throughout the entire city of Austin. I mean, they do not let any space in their city go unmanaged. And then, of course, Seattle with Post Alley, and the Santa Barbara with their Artistic Alley. The goals and visions of doing this, it's the quality public spaces. Tracy, we have limited spaces in our historical downtown, and I think it reshapes the image and keeps our city healthy and vibrant, especially coming off of this 1 year shelter in place and with the pandemic. I mean, our downtown struggled. Very difficult for them to keep their businesses open. So this would coincide with everything opening again and bringing more foot traffic, bringing more commerce, turning all those commuters on 205 and I-5 into consumers in downtown Tracy. We are the gateway to both the Bay Area and the Central Valley. So there's basically three different phases when you are activating an alley. There's the simple phase, the simple approach, which we are doing for the Jackson Alley project, which is, you don't really need your engineers and architects for that. We can set up canopies and your murals and planters and get with local businesses to have them contribute to the overall ambiance. Then there's the moderate phase where you would need conceptual designs and get with planning, and you would need different materials, and you're changing the landscape. You're actually changing subtly changing some of the buildings and stuff. And then, of course, phase three, your substantial approach, which requires definitely professionals, contracts, architects, your general contractors, because now you're really reshaping the infrastructure. But it adds for more shops, cafes, and making the alley more approachable, more user friendly, and business friendly as well. So what goes on in alleyways? Well, we determined basically, you have your basic patterns of life. We start between 5, 6 a.m. where you have your morning drop-offs and people biking to work or school, using them as thoroughfares to kind of cut corners to get out of traffic, delivery drivers. Then you get into like 9, 10, 11, with kids, parents, elderly are sort of walking around, transitioning through. Why not provide that space for them? The traffic pretty much dies down about around 9 to 10 a.m. Then you get into lunchtime, and maybe some of these vendors could have their little satellite cafes or satellite restaurants in the alley, actually in the alley. And then you get into 3 and 4, kids are getting out of school, and people are kind of unwinding from their day. And then you get into the 5, 7, and 8 p.m. where, hey, people have business meetings or partnerships, or let's just take a load. I've had a couple cocktails. Hey, meet me in the alleys. I mean, that's kind of a cool phase. Hey, meet me in the alleys. What's going on in Tracy tonight? No, the alleys. I mean, it's already kind of catching on. It's a catchy term. Then you're getting into the more of the nightlife as later on, but we don't anticipate the alleys being open or activated anytime past 11:30 midnight. Then we just set up. But we're anticipating to do this every day. I'd have these open every day for our people. But not only that, to bring people in, because hey, it's the alleys. Everybody wants to hang out in the alleys. So that's what Ready Front's I'm working on right now currently as far as amenity projects. And should you have any questions, you can contact Jamie or Raquel at 209 666 7178, or see us on Facebook. That's Ready Front Community Action Group, and this is our amenities projects. Thank you.